JP was lucky enough to sit down virtually with the director Dean Fleischer Camp, as well as producer Jonathan Eirich. And let's see what they had to say about bringing Lilo and Stitch to life for a whole new generation.
For Expresso from South Africa, my name is JP Sebastian.
Dean Fleischer.
Oh, okay. You say that to all the boys, all the girls. This is the 500th Hawaiian shirt you've seen today.
You're only the second Pua shirt we've had today, so.
Only the second unoriginal person. Thank you so much. So then I'm going to jump straight in. I want to say that from Get, I really appreciated the clip of your comedy. I think that a lot of movies maybe don't give kids enough credit. What else did you tweak in your Lilo and Stitch, whether tonally, in terms of relationship dynamics or anything like that?
Animation is such a different art form from live action. I think it's a mistake to just try to literally translate it one to one. I just because, we certainly tried to do that at times and realized, oh, this gag doesn't work in live action. It's not funny, or it's actually scary or whatever. So there's a translation process that needs to happen, and you need to be thoughtful about, we really tried to take every piece from the live action movie that we were using as a jumping off point and figure out, okay, why does it work in animation, and what rhymes with it that could function in live action that still embodies the same essence or gets a laugh or whatever it has to do. But I think in terms of like the comedy of it, we tried to figure out what of the original film's comedy really works still, would work in live action, and then what do we need to kind of refit or write new stuff to make it work better in live action, and also make it work better with the specific people that were portraying those characters now. I think like with Maya, it was a really fun challenge to get to figure out, okay, well, how does this kid be a smart aleck? How does this kid blah, 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 and then you kind of, curtail it, tailor it to the specific performer.
Also, I think, Dean has a comedy background, but I think we all put it through the lens of like, if this isn't making us laugh, cut it.
Yeah.
And so it's a bunch of adults judging these jokes. And you're like, and I think to your credit, you're insightful. And like, I have a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old. And I think the same thing. They get it when there's really smart, funny, fast humor. Like they do understand it. So we sort of felt like if there was no joke in the movie where it felt like, we don't like it, but I think kids will get it.
Yeah.
Cut it. If it's not making us laugh, we didn't want to keep it in there.
That's great discipline. But we, in terms of the legacy that you guys come from, how is this a Stitch that fans will remember, and how is this a new Stitch?
I think the opportunity that live action affords is that some of the emotional currents and dynamics and the human drama, especially, you can go deeper on those things. In fact, I think when you're looking at a real 6-year-old little girl who is, being threatened with getting separated from her sister, it's kind of on you. You have to actually dive deeper and create a more textured reality. Because if you didn't, I think it would just come off as superficial. And so we tried to deepen a lot of the emotional arcs in the film.
And I think there was one thing we learned too, which is there were some early cuts where there's even more destruction. And we were sort of like, oh, it'll be so fun to just watch him destroy things. But the second he was destroying things without sort of a point of view on it, where it wasn't driven by some curiosity, or we suddenly were like, this doesn't feel like it works anymore in live action, the way that sometimes you can get away with that in animation. So I think there was a point of view for Stitch in every single moment where if we lost that and you were like, oh, chaos is funny, it actually didn't work. Yeah. So we really had to sort of put everything through that lens for him.
The example I always use is that a 10-car pileup on the highway can be really funny in an animated film, depending on how it's drawn and stylized. But I'd never seen that happen in live action to be anything but a tragedy. So, but violent destruction in particular is like, you really have to be thoughtful of it.
Yeah, I think that your point, firstly, Dean, that speaks to what I would have loved to have gotten into with you guys, is that you said you didn't want the actress to be Lilo. Which was interesting. However, I'm running out of time, and to you, Jonathan, I'd say that what was really interesting there is it's not just crass schadenfreude that you're watching. You really are watching a growth of the character. I think you guys did a great job. Great movie, everyone. Anyway, thanks guys. Ciao.